Brother, I gotta be real with you, man. I've gotta be completely real and honest. Vagina is a dangerous thing. It's just dangerous. Have you ever heard that expression, double-edged sword? Vagina is like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, you could use one edge to create good. You can use it in surgery. I don't know why anyone would bring a double-edged sword into surgery, but you could if you wanted to. Just cut off a big old tumor with that sword, with one of those edges. And with the other edge, you could do some serious damage to yourself or to others. You know what I'm getting at? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I've been singeing my fingers. Just singeing my fingers lately. Just, carefully skirting my way around the edges. I've been practicing the sexual alchemy. I've been having sex with my wife without releasing, with the full intention to raise the kundalini. In other words, don't let these spiritual words scare you, bro. It's okay. I know you don't watch too many of these spiritual type mystical videos because you're quite grounded, you're quite a rational man, but when I say kundalini, I just mean sexual energy. Is that safe for you? Sexual energy. We've all got it. It's sitting down here. If you could see a bit further down the screen, I'm pointing at my nutsack. It's sitting in there, in the nutsack. Or as the Easterners like to say, in the root chakra, in the tailbone, the coccyx. Wherever it sits exactly, I don't know, but it's just down there. It's down there. And what we want to do is we want to raise it up the spine, baby. We want to bring it out of the gonads and raise it up to the brain. That is ascension. That is what ascension is. That is the resurrection of Christ. The Christ principle, the Christic essence. I'm talking sacred secretion, baby. Look it up. Some very interesting shit. But once you have got semen retention under wraps, you've managed to break that horrible addiction. That horrible addiction where you just start touching yourself and you work yourself into a frenzy. Then you whip the pixels out and you're just watching video after video, and before you know it, your brain is depleted of dopamine. You've lost all interest in everyday, ordinary living. You've lost all interest in bettering yourself. And now you've got a screen covered in nut juice, nut milk. You've just emptied nut milk all over your screen and you're feeling depleted. And then you do it again and again and again. So once you realize how just detrimental that habit is, and you stop it, that's semen retention. You stop going out with all these floozies just to make yourself feel good. You start to realize the emptiness in these encounters, even though they're fun. Don't get me wrong, a short-term hookup, so much fun. But it gets to a point where, for me, I always wanted more. I always wanted to connect with these women more. And I knew that beneath their wounded postmodern feminist ego front, their closed heart, I knew there was always a beautiful little girl in there that wanted to fall in love with a prince. And more than just like getting down with the thoth, just getting down and freaky with this thoth in front of me and just doing nasty shit to her and letting her do nasty shit to me, I always just wanted to just penetrate her heart. Maybe I'm a bit of a sicko. You know, I always wanted her to fall in love with me. And the more time I would spend with these women, the more I just wanted to let myself fall in love. The sex is amazing, it's fun, it's exciting. It pumps you up as a man, unless you release. But at the end of it, after a while, after you start seeing these women for a while, it's like, damn, I fucking like you a lot. I love you. I care about you. I don't want to hurt you. It was fun hurting you at the start, but the further you go, if you're retaining, because this energy is divine, it takes control of you. This divine energy, it automatically starts to move you in the direction of highest love, of highest truth. And if you're retaining and having sex with multiple women, or just one woman casually, eventually their energy is just going to take over you and you're just going to want to fall in love with her. Because that's God's heart. That's God's nature, is just to be love. Also to be leadership, which is kind of the balancing force of love. Too much love becomes toxic. But what I'm saying is, eventually you get past that point of semen retention and you want to form something deep and real with a woman. And these women are jealous, very, very jealous, just like us as men, you know. I never wanted my woman to go and sleep with another man behind my back, but I thought it should be okay for me to sleep with multiple women, you know. Even telling her the truth, hey baby, I'm just gonna go and fuck Ali down the road tonight. Just letting you know, because I respect you. Come on, bro. I call bullshit. Then you tell yourself, I'll just do it behind her back. She doesn't understand. She's a woman. How could she possibly understand my lustful needs as a man? That I need more than just her to be satisfied. I'll just do it behind her back. It'll be okay. You think you're going to build something of substance? You really think she doesn't feel it through the ether? You really think her heart isn't registering the fact that you're sticking your cock in another vagina? She feels it. And that closes her heart. Because you're essentially telling her you're not enough. That would destroy me to know that she was doing that. So you get to that point where you burn all the other bridges. You decide that you're not going to be a black magician. I used to want to be a porn star at different stages of my life, especially when I would watch a lot of porn. I seriously considered, you know, going down that path and just becoming a full-blown black magician. But you look at the faces of these people. I always noticed this when I would watch porn. You look at the faces of these people. Like let's take Johnny Sins. You know, he actually, of all the porn stars out there, Johnny Sins has a certain charisma about him, a certain boyish innocence, while at the same time being quite a masculine, chiseled looking dude. High T levels. But when I look at his face, there is a certain deadness in his eyes. that I can't deny. There's a certain lack of humanity, if I can say it like that, where I just see this, it's kind of almost this glazed over expression on his face. It's like, knock, knock. Lights are on, but no one's home. There's no soul in there. I can't feel your soul. I don't actually, when I feel into you, I don't feel any substance in there. I feel an empty exterior. You know what I'm talking about. These people are possessed by demons. Let's just be real. Whether that's a physical, like actual demonic entities, or more metaphorical for they've just been fully taken over by the animal ego. That's probably more of what I mean. To the point where they have no real capacity for love. These women, you look at the women on porn, same thing. They've got these blank faces. You know, they do all the expressions, they're animated, blah, blah, blah. But behind the eyes, there is a deadness. There is a lack of love. There's no love. There's no substance in there. They've sold their soul. They're done. They're just finished. There's no love. That's what I would always find. After watching so much porn over the years, I would get so bored of the mechanical thrusting and the mechanical squirts and the all the different weird positions and all the different relationships, you know, all the different power dynamics. You know, back in the day before they started regulating more of this stuff, you had like full incest channels. There was like mom and there was dad and there was daughter and son, you know, and that used to really tickle my perversion. I used to be into that incest type stuff. And then they ramped up the probably the political correctness, and they started turning it into stepmom and stepdad and stepsis and stepbro, and they made it a bit safer, you know, over the years. And all these different flavors of perversion. Like, I'll be honest, bro. I even dabbled in the tranny stuff. There was a time when I did click on the tranny porn. You know, it was weird. It was like this smoking hot woman, but she had a dick. What the heck? I mean, everything else was feminine. The face, the titties, the ass, the legs, the curves, it was all there, but she just had a big old schlong. That was freaky, man. But I went there. I'll admit it. I went there. I clicked. I watched. I played with myself. Been holding that in for a long time. But you go to these places of perversion because the normal stuff, like the vanilla sex, the gangbangs, the interracial, the lesbianism, the orgies, it all gets boring after a while. It just gets boring. And you go down this path, and eventually what I found was that I either had to go even more perverted, like watching animals with people, you know, horses. I watched a bit of horse stuff back in the day. I spilled my coffee all over my hand. I'm getting a bit excited here. You know, then you got the cosplay, the weird cosplay. Like all the different movies, you type in your favorite movie with XXX after it, and it's like, oh, that tickles me a bit in a different way. It hits different. But after a while, I wanted love. I wanted to watch people have sex who actually loved each other. I wanted to feel a heart connection. You know, because there was these two paths. I could either just keep going down that perverted path and just get more and more excitement, and I could see that was turning into bloodlust. I could see that part of me wanted more and more freaky shit. You know, I remember watching this this clip, and this woman had a full prolapse. She was like playing with this massive dildo, and then she had a prolapse, and then she pushed it back in. And one part of me was like, "Ooh, that's kind of hot." Another part of me was like, "That is fucking debaucherous and disgusting. What the hell am I doing?" And so I started gravitating more towards the love. I was like, I want to see people who are in love. I couldn't find it. I even went on women, like porn sites for women, specifically made for women, because it was typically more gentle and, you know, more affectionate and more like a little bit more heartful than your typical average porn. But even that, it still lacked truth. It still lacked intimacy. It was all still just an act. It was all just cope, because deep down, I wanted love. I wanted a heart connection. I wanted intimacy. Couldn't find it through these sites. I couldn't find it through being a man whore. And so eventually you reach the point where you're just ready for love. But it's a double-edged sword. Love is freaky, bro. Love ain't all sunshine and roses. There's a reason we avoid it. Let me tell you, there is nothing more terrifying than opening your heart to a woman. Especially because she can see things about you that you can't see. She can sense things about you that you are completely unaware of. She can feel your weakness in a way that you can't. And so with every step closer to love comes a deeper surrender, a deeper vulnerability, a deeper trust. This is a very big word for men and for women, but for men, this is a very big word, trust. Because on the one hand, we are supposed to be the strong one. We are supposed to be the masculine container. We are supposed to be. We are supposed to be the one who always holds it together. We're supposed to be the one who never cries, who wears a stout, stoic face, who never feels emotions, who keeps it under wraps. That's what we've been taught. And to bare your heart, to allow yourself to feel deeply within the intimate presence, the intimate embrace with your woman. You think you're courageous? You think you're a strong man? Try getting up close and personal with a woman who you love with all your heart. Opening yourself to the level where she can see you. She can see that little boy inside. Yeah, she can see the man, the exterior, the ego that you've developed. Yeah, she can see the armor, the muscles, the status, the accomplishments. Bro, she don't give a fuck. She wants to know what's inside. She wants to know if she can trust you. Because the truth is, she can't trust an exterior. She can't trust a front. She can't trust your ego, bro. Your ego is an artificial creation. She doesn't trust that. Yeah, she might be attracted to it on the surface initially. But if you want any level of depth, you need to come to the point where you're vulnerable, where you let her see through all of that, down to your core, down to that very precious, pure light that sits somewhere deep inside you, which you've become so good at guarding. That's some terrifying shit. That takes some serious balls. And lately I've been going there. I gotta be honest, I haven't been having that much sex. As much as I would like to, it's been so sporadic. Just when I think we're off to the races, the horses have been released from the gates, and we're just like fucking galloping down the track. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. I could do this forever. Woo! Yeah! All of a sudden, this little biochemical shift takes place inside her. Just this little shift, and the cascade of hormones shifts, and then the emotions change, and then suddenly I'm with a different woman, and she isn't in the mood. And it doesn't matter how I try and manipulate her, she's not in the mood. I've tried every card in the deck, bro. I trained myself for years to manipulate women into wanting to fuck me. Push, pull, treat you bad, be the bad guy, be aloof, be distant, be kind and affectionate and giving and warm, then pull away, then play with her, mix up her emotions a little bit, tease the pussy, give it a little flick, and then walk away, and then back, and then forward, and then, oh, now I'm focusing on my purpose. Oh, I'm the stoic man. I'm just cutting you out now. I'm just focused on the purpose. I'm just doing me. Boom. Winning goals, hitting targets. Boom, boom. I don't even remember you anymore. Who are you? Oh, you're my wife? Oh, I see you're wearing a wedding ring. You must be my wife. I've tried all of it. But there are times when the chemicals ain't there. And she ain't feeling you at all. She's just in her own little feminine fucking world. That's been happening lately. Gave birth 5 months ago. Sometimes she fucking wants me, and then other times she's just gone. And that shit, that's been taking a lot of getting used to for me, because on one moment I feel like I'm fully seen, fully embraced, fully loved. I feel like I'm the fucking man, bro. And then the next moment, I'm nothing. I'm fucking nothing. I'm just a support worker. I'm just a hired hand. I'm just the one who provides resources and support. It's a double-edged sword. And it fucking hurts. But the juice, the thumos, the quintessence, the alchemy is in the continuing to go forward. Even when it feels like you mean fucking nothing to her. It's so tempting to go back to my old red pill rhetoric and be like, women are fucked. Whoa. Big ass flathead just flopped up on the river. You see ripples expanding out. That's where the alchemy comes into play. We see this through the Bible when we read about the patriarchs, the great ones, the ones who had real communion with God. 1 minute, there's God talking to them face to face, giving them the downloads, unloading the divine vision. Do this, do that. I am with you. Have I not said I am with you? Here is the sign that I am with you. Here is the power. Here are the miracles. And it's all there for everyone to see that you are chosen, gifted, special, loved in the eyes of God. Next minute, God's gone. Puff of smoke, gone. Not a word, not a hint that he was ever even there. That's when the faith comes in. That's when the surrender comes in, the not knowing. That's when we learn to bask in the stillness, in the emptiness, in the void. It's push-pull, darkness and light, a double-edged sword, the alchemy. And it takes a real man loaded up to the eyeballs with semen to be able to get through that. The seasons of plenty and the seasons of famine, to keep going. That's where greatness is forged. So brothers, if you want to be a part of Zion, this is the space I've created. It's still very small, it's early days, and I believe that that's by design. When we started Sons of God, the community for semen retention, that filled up to 100 guys within a few months. Very quick. But Zion is different. It's intimate. I'm beginning to realize that this isn't a space just to have masses of people for the sake of it. This is a space where we're cultivating intimacy because we're talking about this. We're talking about alchemy. We're talking about coming face to face with God through this dance with the feminine, who is the other half of your soul. You are not just masculine. God is not just masculine. God contains both principles. And so that's what we're cultivating in Zion. Very deep, open, vulnerable, scary. I've nicknamed it the lion's den because it's not for everyone. But if you want to do some real soul work, if you want to seriously elevate and seriously deepen and realize your true nature, maybe you want to be part of the lion's den. Jump on in. All I know, bro, is that right now, shit's getting real. It's getting real. We've had a long lull since COVID, but there's been a lot of turning gears and cogs in the background on the part of the machine, the beast. The beast has been assembling. The beast never sleeps. We've been getting cameras just this last week. I've seen cameras popping up all over town. I'm in a small country town on the coast. This ain't no serious big metropolis, But I've seen cameras popping up. I've seen a dozen cameras this morning that I didn't see last week. On street corners, on roundabouts, on turn-offs, intersections. They're popping up. The digital ID's coming, bro. The beast is coming. It's time for us to rise. Stay strong.